2 short films, which were fantastic. Great starters for the longer film. I think there were a lot of themes there. So let's just start. Say your name, what film you're involved with, and how you got involved with the film. What was your inspiration?
Hello, my name is Jin Ho. I made Incisor, which was the first short film that played, and we made it in this past February, March, and it was for school.
What school do you go to?
I go to NYU, so it was part of our advanced production class where the students all kind of make their short film that they are sent off with, kind of. So yeah, that we made it for that class this past year. Or during this year, yeah.
How did you come up with this idea of the incisor?
Yeah, so we all the students had to pitch we had to be workshopping our ideas prior to the semester with the professor Alfonso who teaches the class, and I had an idea that I wasn't super excited about, and I was home in California, which is where I'm from, for the break. And my dad, who's a dentist who's in the film, was really adamant about me coming in to get my teeth looked at, because the first question people always ask me when I tell them my parents were dentists, they're like, "Oh, your teeth must be so good." They're really not. I have so many cavities. It was just we never made a point to go to the dentist because it was like, oh, it must be fine if your dad's a dentist. So yeah, and
osmosis.
Yeah, and so it was during that break where I was supposed to be thinking about my ideas, and I got my teeth checked by my dad. I wasn't that chaotic, but I was just like, yeah, there are many reasons why they don't have doctors be the doctors for their children, and there's just so many boundaries that should be there that aren't. It's like my dad was yelling at me to sit still and stuff like that, and I was like, all right. Is this how you are with all your patients? But yeah, so then I wanted to do something with that and do something with my dad. So that's how.
The acting was fantastic, by the way. You played yourself, right?
Yeah, I played a version of myself. I like to think I'm not that belligerent, but.
It was great. All right, then. What's your name? And tell us about your movie and how you got the idea. I love the found footage. Frank, what a character.
Thank you. My name is Derek Hacker. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I'm the filmmaker behind To Be Frank. The project started out from, it was a thesis film as well from college, but the idea came about from the popcorn machine story that you see in the middle, and then it sort of just grew from there. It was always one of the stories sort of that I held on to and I had in the back of my pocket, so I felt obligated at some point to make it into something, so that's where it started. Yeah.
I thought you were very innovative with cell phone stuff, old footage, interviews. Just using all that was really great. How long did it take you to shoot, and was everybody amenable to being interviewed?
Shooting-wise, I think I did it all within 1 week. Gathering all the found footage took, a lifetime, but I think searching through it took over a year and a half. Yeah, so I had originally made this for a thesis project, and it turned into this film. And then 2 years post-grad, I continued it again and started to work at it and vet it, and then, yeah, it slowly formed into the film that you saw today.
Did you know Frank very well? How old was he?
Yeah, very well.
Yeah.
The whole picking me up from school, I would see him every day. He would come to my soccer games. But yeah, it's all around that idea of I never heard him speak at all.
Wait, so Frank was your grandfather, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I thought that was cool that you referred to him.
Yeah.
You both had a lot of humor and comedic stuff in your films. Want to just talk a little bit about that? Was that hard to do? Was that something you just immediately sort of grabbed onto? Start with you.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking about how I wanted to do how I wanted to portray this character, and I think in film school, these are like, you know, myself included, obviously, a lot of 21, 22-year-olds kind of, when you're fictionalizing a story that's like about a parent or something like that, it's really easy. I think there's a draw to like, I don't know, see yourself in that story a certain way, kind of in a college essay kind of way, where like this big thing happened to me, and so I wanted to kind of like flip it and be a very belligerent, kind of nasty child, you know, but there had to be some kind of like likable qualities, obviously, about both characters. So I guess so like that the opening scene where that's my brother and I playing hockey, so he was in the film as well. So we were just messing around. We just kind of rolled, and a lot of it because I knew everyone prior to shooting it. A lot of that just came up naturally, just because I was friends or blood related to the people in the film. So yeah.
Yeah, I actually thought what a brilliant opening that was. What a great way to have a conversation with two people just skating around each other. That was really cool, man. Great idea.
Thank you.
Really great opening. Okay, what about you? I mean, there was so much humor in the freaking
Yeah,
popcorn
and
machine.
I'm almost surprised by the question because it's not something that I'm ever super conscious of. I think I made it a point for everyone that I documented or interviewed to have their own voice or character. It was always my job to just let them be them, and I think the one thing that I sort of injected is the whole like the referencing of his big hands and like the child for reference part. Yeah, I guess now that I do think about it, there is a bit of humor, but it was never something that was super conscious. No.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, part of it is when you start, even the feature film, when you start dealing, first of all, with found footage and old family, I mean, they're always just kooky and weird, right? And funny. It's just bizarre. And then just, you know, a lot of family is weird and kooky, you know, once you start getting into it. And I think that all these three films really showed, they both, you know, your films also had emotional resonance, and, you know, there was a sense of connection and disconnection, and I thought that was both really, really well done. What school do you go to?
I went to the University of Michigan.
Okay, University of Michigan. All right, well, you both are destined for good things. Does anybody have a question out there? Yes.
I have a question for the filmmaker, Incisor. I know something about film, so you know, it's kind of like a magic trick. I look for it, and if I can't see it, it's very good. So the hockey sequence, can you talk about that technically a little bit? How you shot that?
Yeah.
Who was holding camera? There are no shadows. It's impeccably done.
Yeah, so my DP, Steven, who's not here, it was pretty straightforward. My friend Luis made this short film, where it's these two friends roller skating, and it's just a camera on a tripod, essentially just tracking them. And because there's so much movement behind them, it's very just like stimulating to watch. So to shoot that was actually pretty straightforward. Steven was holding the camera, and then his AC, Andrea, was just pulling focus, and we were shooting on a wide aperture, so the pulling focus wasn't too difficult to film all that movement. But yeah, no, he shot it really well, and I just told him to like kind of track whatever looks interesting, and it was fairly easy. We shot on a very low ISO film stock, so and it was all overhead, kind of cloudy light that day, so we didn't have to light it or hold any like reflectors or anything like that. It was just everything worked out nicely. Yeah.
Did you shoot your own film? All your footage? Or did you have somebody working with you?
It was all me. Yeah, it was a bit of a running gun and self-directed. I think it's one of those things I couldn't really have anyone else work on because the family dynamic,
Right.
no one could really understand it as well as I could. So.
Yeah, you saw that actually in the feature film, right? The
Yeah,
director
exactly.
also shot that whole thing.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes, up there.
I wonder how it was directing your dad. Did you find similar themes between the dentist-child relationship?
Well, yeah, so much tension the whole time. My brother and I, like, it wasn't as bad as it is in the film, but yeah, like I really didn't like acting and directing. Like that's already hard to do. And then my dad, who was very patient for the week-long shoot that it took, he was, let's just say he was very, very patient with me in the way that he is in the film as well. But yeah, it's hard to work with your family. It's hard. Family is hard. Is what we can all walk out of this.
And how is it working with your mom?
Oh, well, for the interview that you see during the film, I didn't tell her whatsoever. I just recorded the screen. So it was very much a ask for permission afterwards kind of thing, ask for forgiveness. Very easy. I did interviews that you didn't see in the film. One was with like my Uncle Brian, and there was another one I'm forgetting. There was another one with my Uncle Jim, my grandfather's brother, I believe. Yeah, she's right there.
Didn't know he was filming.
Yeah, I didn't really have to think about it too much. I don't really know what else to
Yeah,
say
so the
besides that.
family was open to it, because I mean, that's part of it. I mean, you asked your family to actually act in it. You were actually making a documentary, and then of course this huge one, it was like, Womez. I mean, at some point, right, they were just like, this camera is gonna be here all the time, so just get over it, right?
Yeah, just as we saw in the film, Sam, now it was more like, you're here, you have to do it kind of thing. So,
Yeah. If you want me in the room, I'm going to have a camera,
yeah.
so. All right, one more question. Yes, right here.
Did you show your family the film before you finished it? Like, did you get their input on it, or did you just say like, this is it, you guys sign these releases and share it?
I think the only instance where I asked if like things were okay or not okay was with my Aunt Donna and Uncle Keith. And in that situation, they loved every bit that was in the film. I think of the jokesters in my family, Uncle Keith, the one that's like doing the whole like popcorn turning on thing in that one sequence, is the biggest jokester in my family. So he was pretty down for anything.
So just quickly, what's your next move? What are you doing? You're out of college, both of you? Let's start with you.
Yeah, I'm a freelance editor. That's all I'm doing right now.
Okay, where?
In the Metro Detroit area,
Okay.
but all around, online as well.
Want to still keep making your own movies?
I think getting away from editing and more into my own films. Very interested in documentary work, also narrative work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good luck.
Well, I'm still in school. I have one more year left, so the semester is actually starting quite soon. But right now we're actually trying to. I don't know how much of a continuation off of this short film would be, but I want to make a feature-length film with my dad. I don't know if both of us would survive that, but I would like to do it, just to document something with my dad, because it was fun despite everything, and I kind of want to like continue it as like a road film or something like that. So I'm trying to work on a script for that right now.
Nice. All right, thank you so much. We have to move out of here for the next movie. Thank you, guys.